Drama is peaking in Ashbourne, and the next 2 weeks will decide who stays and who goes home. After the humiliation against the Patriots, a veteran from the organization just issued an ultimatum that has the entire locker room shaking. Meanwhile, an epic battle for the right tackle spot is dividing the coaching staff, and management is gearing up for the worst with desperate moves in the free agent market. If you thought you knew these Commanders, get ready because what's happening behind the scenes will leave you speechless. The Commanders just faced their most humiliating moment of the preseason. And let me tell you, that pathetic performance against the Patriots wasn't just a bad game. It was a statement of what we do not want to see from this team when the lights come on for real. Jeremy Reeves, one of the few players to maintain dignity in that disaster at Gillette Stadium, just dropped the most direct bomb I've heard in years at the Commanders' locker room. This man, who knows what it's like to fight? From the bottom, who knows what it means to earn every opportunity? Told his teammates a truth that many didn't want to hear but needed to. Reeves was crystal clear when he declared that this is a very small and tight window, where you never know when your last play might be exactly that. Your last play. Hear me out, Reeves wasn't kidding when he told everyone in that locker room that they have to play every snap like it's their last. They need to understand, and he might understand it better than many other players, that this is a small, very tight window where you never know when your last play might be. Just get out there. Play every down like it's your last. Make sure that when you leave the field, you've left everything out there. And I'm telling you, after seeing how Dan Quinn looked on the sideline during that debacle, after seeing how Adam Peters has been making moves like crazy these past few days, Reeves' message was not a suggestion. It was an order. I think many players are getting that now. This is a business, and you have to perform in this business. Because if you don't, you won't be here. The standard is the standard, no matter who you are or where you're from. Those words from Reeves resonate because he knows exactly what he's talking about. This guy earned his Pro Bowl spot from special teams, from nothing, and now he's seeing players with all the talent in the world, but not the right mindset. What makes this message so powerful is that it comes from someone who has literally lived every word he's saying. Reeves didn't come to the NFL with fanfare, wasn't a first-round pick, didn't have guaranteed contracts waiting for him. Every day he's been in this league has been a struggle. Every position he's won has been through blood, sweat, and relentless work. When Reeves talks about understanding this window better than most players, he's not exaggerating. He's seen talented teammates cut for lack of effort. He's seen players with more natural skill than him stay at home because they didn't have the right mindset. And now he's seeing some of those same patterns in his own locker room. Quinn wasn't pleased with the execution, wasn't pleased with the effort, and frankly, neither was I don't care that 30 players weren't dressed for that game. Those who should have shown more than what we saw. This is not the identity Quinn worked so hard to build during that memorable 2024 campaign. Dang, Quinn came to Washington with a reputation and clear expectations. This is a coach who has taken teams to Super Bowls, who has built winning cultures, and who doesn't accept mediocrity. When he was hired, they knew exactly what type of standards he was going to set, and those standards did not negotiate. What we saw against the Patriots was the complete opposite of what Quinn has been preaching from day one. We saw a lack of communication in defense. We saw fundamental mistakes that shouldn't be happening in August. And we saw a lack of intensity that was frankly embarrassing for an organization trying to change its culture completely. Quinn has been very clear since arriving that he doesn't care about the names on the jerseys, doesn't care about draft picks, doesn't care how much money you're making. If you can't execute on the field, if you can't maintain the standards he set, you won't be playing on Sundays. And after what we saw against New England, several players just found out they weren't joking. Adam Peters also didn't stay quiet about that performance. The second-year general manager has been moving pieces as if he were a chess master preparing for the final checkmate. Those moves he's been making should raise the urgency considerably for those fighting with everything they have to stay. Peters is not a general manager who will sit around waiting for things to get better on their own. When he sees problems, he acts. When he sees weaknesses, he addresses them. And when he sees players not meeting standards, he makes the necessary moves to ensure the roster is filled with players who will dot in recent days. We've seen a flurry of transactions that are no coincidence. Peters is sending a clear message to the entire locker room. If you can't do it, he's going to find someone who can. That ruthless mentality is exactly what this organization needed after years of mediocrity. And now I ask you this. Are these players going to wait until it's too late to wake up? Because let me tell you something. There are less than 2 weeks until the final cuts. And Quinn and Peters already have a good idea of who stays and who goes home. If they haven't understood the message by now, they never will. This is a life or death situation for many players on that roster. We're talking about careers that can end in 2 weeks. We're talking about dreams that can come true or turn into nightmares. But here's the thing. There's still time to change the narrative. That can only be achieved through improved consistency and a work ethic that we haven't seen from several of these players yet. It's not enough to have a good day in practice. It's not enough to make a good play once in a while. Quinn and Peters need to see consistency day in and day out, need to see constant improvement, need to see that these players understand the gravity of the situation. The Commanders are going to discover much more about their players under the Monday Night Football spotlight against the Cincinnati Bengals. And let me tell you, this won't be an easy game. Cincinnati is going to bring their starters. They're going to bring their best effort. And they're going to be looking to do exactly what the Patriots did. Expose Washington's weaknesses. It takes strong character, especially considering that Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, and the rest of their starters will be on the field. Washington isn't going to win every rep, but they need to show more fight than they showed against New England. They need to show they've learned from that humiliation, that they understand what's at stake, and that they're willing to do whatever it takes to earn their spot on this roster. If they can't do that against Cincinnati, if we see the same lack of effort, the same lack of execution, then Quinn and Peters are going to know everything they need to know about who belongs in this organization and who doesn't. Now, while all this drama is unfolding in the locker room, there's another battle completely dividing the coaching staff, and it's the war for the right tackle between rookie Josh Conerly Jr. and veteran Andrew Wiley. Bleacher Report identified. This battle is the biggest of the entire training camp, and let me tell you why they're right. The Commanders acquired 5-time Pro Bowler Laramie Tunsil to upgrade at left tackle. In the first round of the draft, they selected Conerly, who mainly played the same position at Oregon. But here's the interesting twist. The Commanders are going to give Conerly the chance to beat Wiley on the right side. This decision speaks volumes about how the organization views the future of their offensive line. Conerly wasn't selected in the first round to sit on the bench. The Commanders invested significant capital in this player because they believe he can be a cornerstone of their offensive line for years. But the question is whether he's ready to contribute immediately. Wiley isn't a name known to everyone, but he's a solid pass protector. According to Pro Football Focus, he didn't allow a single sack while on the field during 534 pass blocking snaps in 2024. Those numbers don't lie. And that consistency is exactly what you need when protecting a quarterback of Jaden Daniels' caliber. Andrew Wiley represents everything you want in a veteran offensive lineman. He's dependable. He's consistent. He knows the systems, understands the protections, and isn't going to make silly mistakes that put your quarterback in danger. When you need 534 snaps without allowing a sack, that's not luck. That's technique, preparation, and professionalism. The Commanders didn't dress Wiley for the first week of the preseason, and according to PFF, Conerly had a solid performance and only allowed one pressure. That decision to keep Wiley out of the first game was strategic. They wanted to see what Conerly could do against real competition, wanted to evaluate if he's ready for the next level. The fact that Conerly only allowed one pressure in his first appearance is encouraging, but we also have to be realistic about what that means. We're talking about a preseason game against defenses that weren't playing their best players. The real test will come when he faces elite rushers in games that truly matter. But here, I think something deeper is happening. Wiley is the safe option, but Conley's potential might be too intriguing to leave on the bench. The Commanders are in a unique position where they have to balance immediate needs with long-term development. Now I tell you this. Eventually, the Commanders will give Conley the starting spot. The question is whether it happens immediately or later in the season. The Commanders can't waste their first-round pick keeping him on the second team for too long unless he needs to learn some skills he currently doesn't possess. This is one of the toughest decisions any NFL organization faces. On one hand, you have a proven veteran who you know exactly what he can give you. He's not going to win games for you, but he also won't lose them. On the other hand, you have a rookie with a much higher ceiling, but who comes with all the inherent risks of being a first-year player. Conley looks like someone who can compete against first-team defenses right now, but it remains to be seen if the Commanders will give him that chance. And this isn't just about individual talent. It's about how he integrates with the rest of the line, how he handles complex protections, how he reacts under pressure in crucial moments. The reality is that protecting Jaden Daniels is this organization's #1 priority. Daniels is the future of the franchise, and any decision that puts his health at risk will be intensely scrutinized. If Conley isn't ready and Daniels gets injured because the protection failed, those are decisions that can cost jobs. But there's also the flip side. If Conley's ready and they keep him on the bench just to play it safe, they might be limiting the team's offensive potential in ways that Wiley simply can't provide. And now I ask you, is it worth the risk of putting a rookie in such a crucial position from day one? The answer depends on how confident Quinn and his staff are in Conley's preparation and how willing they are to take that risk for the potential upside. More will be revealed when the Commanders face the Cincinnati Bengals in their second preseason game of the year. This game will be crucial not only for the right tackle battle, but for many of the roster decisions being debated in Ashburn. Cincinnati will present a completely different challenge than the Patriots did. The Bengals have one of the best offensive lines in the league. They have weapons everywhere, and they'll be playing at home with their fans supporting them. If the Commanders want to redeem themselves after that humiliation in New England, this is the perfect moment to do it. For Conley specifically, this game will be a golden opportunity to show he belongs at that level. He'll be facing more talented defensive ends, handling more complicated stunts, and will be under more pressure. How he responds will say a lot about whether he's ready to be the right tackle of the future. For Wiley, if he plays, it'll be a chance to remind the coaching staff why experience and reliability are so valuable. A couple of solid series, clean protections, and effective communication could be enough to keep his job, at least for now. But while this battle intensifies at right tackle, Washington's management is taking desperate measures that could completely change the dynamics of the offensive line. The Commanders are preparing for the worst after meeting with free agents. In a critically important position, the team's top priority is protecting franchise quarterback Jaden Daniels, and that comes from bolstering the offensive line. Recent practices show that the Commanders are ready to sign the best available offensive tackles if they need to. The team hosted 2 standout free agents that could indicate how they feel about the offensive tackle depth. They brought in veteran offensive tackles George Fant and Cam Fleming for visits, but they might not be done yet. Neither player ended up signing with the Commanders, but it's been reported that the team will keep in contact with Fant and Fleming. This proactive approach by Peters is exactly what sets great general managers apart from the average ones. He's not waiting for something bad to happen. He's preparing for any possible scenario. That mentality of planning ahead is crucial when you're managing a 53-man roster, where injuries and performance issues can change the entire team dynamics in a matter of days. The left side of the line has had an interesting offseason so far, and the Commanders are ready for worst-case scenarios. Laramie Tunsil was one of the biggest moves for the Commanders all season, but he recently had a minor injury, although nothing to worry about. But here's the reality of the NFL. An injury can make the line crumble, and they need depth at tackle. The Commanders had Nate Herbig retiring randomly during training camp, leading the team to sign Lucas Niang as the corresponding move. Niang tore his ACL in the first preseason game, and he's probably out for the entire season. That sequence of events perfectly illustrates why Peters is being so aggressive in the free agent market. In a matter of weeks, they lost a veteran to retirement and his replacement to injury. If anything happens to Tunsil, or if the competition between Connolly and Wiley doesn't turn out as expected, they could be in a desperate situation very quickly. Fant was with the Seattle Seahawks last season, but only played 30 snaps. Previously, he registered 962 snaps at right tackle and 42 at left tackle as a starter for the Houston Texans. He's 33 years old and can provide a ton of experience with nearly 5,000 career snaps on both sides of the line. George Fant represents exactly the type of veteran you need available for emergency situations. He's not going to be your ideal starting tackle, but when things get tough, when you need someone who can step in and get the job done without making costly mistakes, Fant is exactly that type of player. His versatility is also valuable. With nearly 5,000 snaps of experience on both sides of the line, he can provide depth in multiple positions. That's crucial for a team like Washington that's trying to maximize every spot on the roster. The team is also keeping in contact with Cam Fleming, who has over 4,300 snaps on both sides as well. Adam Peters clearly values experience and doesn't want to just put someone unproven in the league to protect. Daniels. Fleming brings a similar mindset to Fant. He's a veteran who's been in high-pressure situations, understands what it takes to protect elite quarterbacks, and isn't going to be overwhelmed by the moment. When you're protecting a quarterback like Daniels, that type of composure and experience is invaluable. Both Fant and Fleming are exactly 33 years old, and obviously wouldn't be long-term pieces, but smart moves to protect the lines. Depth. They can also move Andrew Wiley and Trent Scott in an emergency. There's no way of knowing if rookie Josh Connolly Jr. will start week 1, but the team is prepared for everything possible. And now I ask you this. Do you see the pattern? Here, the Commanders are playing chess while other teams are playing checkers. Peters is preparing for every possible scenario, and that tells me this man understands exactly what's at stake this season. This is not a development season for the Commanders. With Daniels in his second year with a defense that showed potential. Last year with a culture that's finally changing. This is a season where everything matters. Every roster decision, every practice snap, every preseason snap is contributing towards the ultimate goal of competing for playoffs. Peters understands he can't afford to take unnecessary risks with Daniels' protection. He also understands he can't be satisfied with marginal depth when there are veterans available who can give the team a better chance of success. That proactive mentality is exactly what this organization needed after years of reactive management. Listen to me, Commanders fans. These 3 stories are showing us exactly where we are as an organization. We have a locker room where veterans like Reeves are setting higher standards than ever. We have legitimate competition in key positions that will bring out the best in our players. And we have a management team that's leaving nothing to chance when it comes to protecting our quarterback of the future. The combination of veteran leadership, healthy competition, and proactive management is exactly the recipe any organization needs to take the next step. The Commanders aren't playing for the future. They're playing to win now. And that reflects in every decision they're making. Do you think Jeremy Reeves is right to set such a direct ultimatum? Do you think Josh Connolly Jr. should start from day 1? Or has Wiley earned the right to keep his position? And what do you think about these preemptive moves by Peters, bringing in veterans like Fleming and Fant? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, because this community, this Commanders family, needs to stick together now more than ever. If this content is giving you the information you need to truly understand what's happening with our team, take a moment to subscribe to the channel and be part of this family that lives and breathes burgundy and gold. And remember, hail to the Redskins!